Hey y'all, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. Sorry I am late. And no, Roy, I am not taking any lessons from anybody. Let's put it that way. I am not taking any lessons from anybody. Yes, there is echo. I know there's echo. It's because I am in an echoey room right now. I don't have like I don't have the ability to let's put it this way. I know I'm echo. I have hardwood floors and a new house. Lay off me. Hold on 1 second. I have to fix something really quick. Be right back. Okay. I forgot that I set up the stream for 9 a.m. and not 9:15 because I got busy unpacking and doing stuff. Yeah, it's a process. It's a process. Yeah, but I don't take streaming lessons from anybody. And y'all can see my little thing here. Don't talk about other chats on my channel. I am sick of drama. I am sick of people. I don't play well with others. So if y'all have drama with other streamers, other people in chat, I don't give two fucks. I do not give two fucks. Don't bring it here. You will be banned. Mods, if people bring up drama from other chats between people or other people's mods, I don't give a shit. You will be banned. I am not playing. I don't play well with others. I don't deal with other people's fucking drama. I've been dragged into too much fucking drama over the past 3 months that I really could not care less about, and I really don't like people. But there's my FYI. I woke up to text messages this morning that certain people blocked certain people. Other people were... Hi. I know. I'm sorry. Other people were getting... Other people were blocking other people. Other people were talking crap about other people in other people's chats. I do not give two shits. If you go into chats where people talk shit about me and you come here as well, I don't care. That is your prerogative. If you go into other chats where I used to be friends with people and I'm no longer friends with people because people can't keep my fucking name out of their drama, don't. Yeah. Oh, Timothy, good morning. No F left to give. I never had an F to start with. I just kept my mouth shut. And I just kept my mouth shut and stayed out of it. But people keep bringing my fucking name up where I don't give two fucks. And I'm done. I'm done. So, like, when people tell me to redirect to people and I don't redirect to those people, there are reasons. One, I'm trying to expand my horizon and, like, redirect and show some love to other people, not the same people every time. But those people I have blocked on every social media platform because they keep bringing me into fucking drama where I don't care. I've kept my mouth shut long enough. I don't care what side I'm on. I'm not picking a side. I fucking hate everybody. There are people who I messaged when I had the problem with YouTube people mass flagging my videos. I went to certain people for help and got no response. Those people are iced out. I've asked people to remove my wrenches from their channel because I don't give two shits. I am done being nice to everybody. I am done giving a fuck about anybody else's channel but my own. So, what mentality? I'm sorry if I've offended you. No, Tammy, you didn't upset me. I'm in a no, Flash fan, this is not anybody, like, any one particular incident. This is just a general, like, don't bring other people's drama into my chat. Don't bring anything that happens on my channel as, oh, Squid said this or Squid. I don't care. Like, I am just over everybody picking sides. And I have, okay. That makes more sense. I was like, wait, I am not trying to talk crap about anybody, but there are certain people who I've decided to separate myself from because the drama is never ending on both sides. And I don't care. Like, I have kept my mouth shut and stayed cordial to everybody. But when I ask someone to stop talking about me and they respond with an LOL, y'all can go fuck yourselves. Yes, Lorax has an ironclad no drama rule. Yes, if y'all like don't talk about the hater channels, don't talk about the friendly channels who might not get along, because there is a lot of drama behind the scenes that y'all aren't privy to. So when you hear people talk on a stream, that's not the 100% ever the 100% situation. No one is ever giving you 100% of the information. Just know that. So when you hear certain people talk, there are two sides to every story. And unless you see receipts, y'all aren't, y'all, this is how I feel right now. This book was given to me a long time ago, and I have read it multiple times, but it's working with people you want to punch in the throat. And right now, like I said, I don't play well with others. I keep my mouth shut and tolerate anything that I see because it's like it doesn't affect me. But when shit starts to happen, like bringing my situation in to convolute a timeline of what other people's actions were. And to be frank, I don't care about those other people's actions. I was never mad at them or like, why did you do that or anything? But some people in certain chats in certain areas do not like it. And you know what? That's their prerogative. They didn't like this certain person's actions. However, I didn't have a problem with it because at the end of the day, it's not my life. You can talk to whoever the fuck you want to talk to. I don't care. That's a you thing. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about anybody else's actions. And I told this person straight away, I don't like, oh, you needed help with something? You asked someone that a lot of people don't like. Oh, well, like that's a you thing. That is like you needed something and you went to a certain individual or group of people asking for help. I have no problem with whoever anybody ever wants to talk to. That's y'all's business. But to bring my name into something to convolute a timeline, just for the sake of convoluting a timeline, y'all can stay. Y'all can leave me out of that shit. So like, if you don't see me talking to certain people and you don't see me interacting with people, I have nothing against those people, and I will never, ever, ever in my life tell anybody that because I don't talk to someone, you can't. I don't care. That is a you thing, because at the end of the day, who you talk to in the 22 hours that I am not streaming, that's a you thing. Like, you do what you want to do. I am never here to tell anybody how to act or what to say or who to talk to. None of my prerogative. But when other people start holding, like, cherry picking what information they want to share, bringing my name into a situation where I was never involved, I said from the very start, I took my one opportunity to try to make everybody happy and play nice and like, please, let's all get along. Can we work this out? And when I was told no on both sides, I stayed out of it. But when my name is brought up to convolute a timeline, when there is months in between, things, I get very, don't bring my name. And when I ask people not to mention my name in a situation I'm not involved with, and they laugh at me, J. Katie Buck, I am sending you a screenshot. I am never going to share this screenshot on a stream. Because I am not that type of person. I have receipts. I choose not to share them because I am not naming names. If you think I'm talking about you, you might want to internally look at yourself and be like, why? But at the same time, I am not going to throw anybody's name under the bus, and do not go unsubscribe to people just because you think I might have a problem with them. Do not. That is not a them thing. That is an issue between me and them, not me, them, and all of YouTube. So what information? Nope. Flash fan, you are my ride or die, dude. You are my little brother. I love you to death. Like and even the side that I still talk to in things, he knows that I hate when shit is just thrown out for the sake of throwing things out. I don't tell people's real names, even though I know them, just because I'm mad. I don't like doxing people or giving their real names out when, even though their real names might be out there, I am not going to be one to be that kind of a bitch. I just don't. Oh my goodness, they're trying to remove the judge again in Pike County case. Oh my God, that is a case that I can't. I just can't keep up with because there is so much. Plus, it hits close to home. I grew up in Scioto County, which is just to the south of Pike County. So, yeah. Anyway, getting back to the topic of the conversation, I just had to get my 12 minutes of sorry I was late because I literally set up the stream at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock last night, right before I went to bed, because the little went to bed with her dad. So I took that opportunity to get an entire night's sleep by myself with peace and quiet. Like I took my melatonin, I had my water, I watched a little, and I know I don't watch any YouTube besides Liz Fenwick DIY, Vivian Tries, and Crane and Company. And I watch, and Uncle Lou. Those are the channels that I watch. Other than that, I don't watch shit. I don't have time for shit. I will replay crew certain people that I'm friends with, like Rosalind. I watch everything she does because she is just freaking awesome. Because I love the topics she covers. But I don't watch YouTube. I have YouTube TV. I am a very travel-y channel kind of person. So telling me about other people's streams or what other people talked about or didn't talk about, there's a 99.9% chance that I haven't seen it because I don't care. I don't care. I just don't care. I quit watching and supporting many channels over drama. Yeah, it's just when people have drama amongst themselves, I'm like, that's a you thing. Just don't bring my name up. I still talk to everybody. I don't I'm not going to go, well, I can't talk to you because you don't like certain person that I talk to. That's high school bullshit. And YouTube is supposed to be fun. And when it becomes not fun, it's when it becomes not fun, it's why do we do this? Why do we do this? So I was in pain last night. I was in the gym. Yes, but that's the good kind of pain that you're improving yourself. So when you are in pain from a workout, yes, it sucks. But think of it as the next time I do that same thing, it won't hurt as bad. And then eventually you don't get as sore because you're stronger versus the kind of I have elbow pain from repeatedly picking this little one up because my biceps are overworked and underpaid. Yeah. Yes, Rosalind is a great YouTuber and helper. And there are certain people that I will watch everything they do. One, because their topics interest me. Like Rosalind and the JFK stuff. I love history. That is you have me at every you will catch me. That's why I watch Travel Channel, because it's a lot of history stuff. I watch Expedition Files because I like history. It's one of those things of certain channels, and I like sports. That's why I watch Uncle Lou and On 3 and all of that. So, but getting back to the original topic of why we were here, just in case anybody doesn't want to be pissed off this morning, trigger warning. This lawsuit is the Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt and ConneXions lawsuit, there are things that are described in here that can be triggering to some people. So just forewarning, I tend to read them, but I leave it up on the stream for you to read yourself because, one, I don't want YouTube to yeet me, and secondly, when being a parent, y'all like being a homeowner versus not being a homeowner. Like, there are things that when you now own the house that you care about just a little bit more and you take a little bit more personally because you're like, oh God, I'm not renting. This is my problem to fix if I create it. Same thing with this. Like, when you are, I never thought that I would take things as personally as I do when I hear people talking about children. Also, I want to investigate with this. This is an issue with religion and people using their religion to justify shitty behavior. Oh yes, I had someone go, what if people know your address? And I'm like, I live in rural Georgia. And even though I moved to a town, I still live in rural Georgia. Like, there is, once you're outside the city limits, you outside the city limits and anything goes. So like, FYI, if anyone talks crap about me, ignore them, laugh, don't ever defend me. There's no need to. Yeah, and my only thing with that is when my name is brought up on other people's channels for any reason, just know that I didn't endorse that. Unless I am in chat and they are reading my comment and talking directly to me, like that's, or I gave them something, like I DM'd them and I said, hey, read this on your chat or in your stream. Don't, like, take it with a grain of salt because not everything is as it seems just because you trust the person that is streaming. I have realized that I don't trust people. I don't like people. I thought that it would be really cool to stream with people and to be friends with people on YouTube. And I have learned that being overly friendly only bites you in the ass. So that phase of my YouTube journey is done, because when I ask someone not to bring my name up and they laugh at me, y'all can go fuck yourselves. And I'm not going to name that person, but a lot of people from here watch that person and they've asked me to redirect to their streams. And I am done being amicable and letting things go. I am just not talking to anybody. Because if y'all laugh at me when I ask you to not mention my name, you can go fuck yourself. And I feel bad because this person helped me a lot, or I thought they helped me a lot. Yeah, I thought that, yeah. There's quite a few people who I learned real personalities are coming out when you ask people for simple things and they don't. Yes, my boundaries are, if you hear anybody talking about me on a different stream, I did not endorse that. And their timeline might be convoluted and confusing you. And I want to apologize to Karen's books because I was looking on my list of like mods and or managing mods and all that, and it has like blocked words and stuff. Somehow on my channel you were hidden. I don't know if I accidentally did that or one of my mods accidentally did that, because sometimes you hit buttons and it's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I just want to apologize. You are no longer hidden on this channel. I don't know why you were. I saw that and got really confused. You were going to ask me about that? Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I saw it last night. I'm glad I checked, because periodically, like, I check because I'm like, did I accidentally do something? I haven't seen somebody in a while. I check. And I want to apologize to her because did I accidentally do that or did somebody else? Because I don't know. I don't know. But I want to apologize to her. I don't know how that happened. but I want to apologize. Okay, now that we've gotten the trigger warning, we've gotten that out of the way, we are going to get back into this lawsuit. We're on page 35 of 146. Okay, we'll Flash Fan, you and I will talk later. So we'll talk. All right, we left off at Spencer Tibbetts. Upon information and belief, Spencer Tibbetts is another victim of the enterprise. For those of you who didn't watch the first three, the enterprise is ConneXions Academy, and all the defendants collectively are known as the enterprise. She's down here and she's kicking my foot, and I'm yeah. So I was like, somebody's playing with my foot, and it was hard. Upon information and belief, Tibbetts spoke with the media last year. His now divorced parents sought counseling from Hildebrandt in 2018 when Tibbetts was a minor. If you go to somebody for counseling, for marriage counseling, do your research. Just because your church says they are a good idea or a good thing, just do your independent research. As much as I value religion in my life, there is also a toxic level of religion. And I'm not trying to call anybody's religion. If you are this particular religion out in Utah, that is a you thing. But just do your independent research. And just because your church says, oh, this person's good, just do your independent research, because this person seemed to have a lot of problems in the way she spun things. And do your research. Upon information and belief, even though Tibbetts had never viewed corn and at the time didn't know what it is, Hildebrandt placed him in an adult men's counseling group, an emphasis on adult, as Tibbetts was a minor, that delved into corn, a certain addiction, and lust. She seems to have a problem with accusing people or telling people they have certain addictions that they really don't have. And addiction is a huge aspect of life. People can be addicted to all sorts of things, positive and negative. I know a girl that is addicted. I love her dearly, but she is addicted to working out. She spends 3 to 4 hours every day lifting weights and working out. She is the nicest person I have met in a long time, but she has an addiction to working out. So addictions can be positive or negative. Upon information and belief, Tibbetts reported that in one therapy call mandated by Hildebrandt, a group member described incest fantasies to him. And this is another thing that, this person was a minor. Do not, even if you have this is your thing, don't tell a minor. Don't tell a minor. One sunny day, how are you this morning? Addicted to YouTube. Yeah, that's a thing too. So spun things is an understatement. More like she's wackadoo crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I woke once with a bunch of candy wrappers in my bed. I didn't know we had mini Snickers. And oh my goodness. Coming from a church minister perspective, any counseling they provide will only reflect the church's position on the issue. Yeah, and it's not even with the church too. These days, as much as it sucks, you have to, when you go for counseling of any kind, ask the counselor certain questions in your first session, because everybody, unfortunately, everybody has an agenda. And when everybody has an agenda, you're going to get, like, even the VA. Like, I love my social worker. I have a mental health social worker that I talk to, and I'm in art therapy, which starts up again next month. If anything makes you anxious, it's doing art when you're not an artist. I asked my social worker questions on how she thought about certain things in order to know if she had an agenda or she was actually going to be non-biased when I told her stuff. Mr. Squid has a PTSD diagnosis from the military, from his time in Iraq. Not going to give details because I don't even know everything. However, he went to a counselor out in town, helped him a lot. His mother went to the same counselor, and the counselor seemed to justify her behavior as everybody else's fault. So you have to ask questions of your counselors and your therapists, and don't be afraid. Like, if you don't mesh well with the therapist, like you are talking to them and you're like, this isn't working, I know I need counseling, but you're not it. Never be afraid to ask your primary care provider for a new referral. Like, if you are feeling uncomfortable in a therapy session, never be afraid to ask for a second opinion or a new person. Because here it sounds like he was afraid to ask for a new person because she kind of ran the show, and you didn't. It sounds like you don't cross her. JKD, I was mandatory reporter in my state, so no privilege for anything that was illegal. And this sounds like something that would be illegal when someone, an adult in a group therapy session, is telling you fantasy stories of illegal acts to begin with. I have a big problem with that. Forcing a minor child to participate in explicit conversations constitute aggravated child abuse. See Utah Code 76-5-109.2 and 76-5-109, and a whole bunch of subparagraphs and additional victims. The Enterprise's social media page contains hundreds of comments that have accumulated from people saying the program caused harm to couples who sought therapy counseling services. Don't you throw that at me. She has an open cup that she keeps wanting me to refill. I have refused to refill it after she literally took a cup with water in it and went like this right in front of me. So if you hear her whining about water, she has water. It's just in a straw cup and not the open cup that she can spill all over my electronic devices. So, like, just call them sea stories. Oh, dude, I should have you call into a stream one time, because I have sea stories that you would laugh at. And I'm sure you have plenty. Additional victims. The Enterprise social media contains hundreds of comments that have accumulated from people saying the program caused harm to the couples who sought their counseling services. Shocker. On the ConneXions website, Hildebrandt stated that she has counseled thousands of individuals and families of all ages and situations with my unique style. That is putting it lightly. And I'm sorry about my attitude this morning. I am fired up. Fired up. Hildebrandt's methodology is destructive to families and marriages. Indeed, such a destruction is a primary objective of the Enterprise. By fabricating false diagnoses and manipulating victims into believing they need additional services that can only be provided by Hildebrandt and members of the Enterprise furthered the scheme by enticing victims to spend exorbitant amounts of money on Hildebrandt and the Enterprise's services. As described above, ConneXions represents that purchasing its products and services and following Hildebrandt's methodology will bring peace into individuals' lives and joy in their relationships and families. Rather than improving victims' lives, the enterprise causes divorce and destruction in the vast majority of families who fall victim to it as a direct result of Hildebrandt's actions to falsely diagnose victims with fabricated conditions to entice them to purchase services and products from ConneXions. Regarding Hildebrandt's teachings, a former client explained the narrative was much like, if your husband is not perfect, it's your job to leave him, and he is undeserving, and if he were to be living honest, responsible, and humble. These values, then he would be deserving. The former client explained that at the time this former client was meeting with Hildebrandt, she told a friend that if I had married entering Hildebrandt's group, I would be exiting the group as divorced. And that Hildebrandt definitely wasn't an advocate for marriage or men. That's true. I just have to return a text message real quick. No. Mama. Hi, baby. Hello. Oh. Hello. You want to say hi? Upon information and belief, Stephanie Jones, another former client of Hildebrandt, reported most women receiving services from Hildebrandt were separated from their husbands, or at least sleeping in separate rooms. Okay, the sleeping in separate rooms thing, I can completely understand. Okay. All right. Sleeping in separate rooms thing I kind of get, because I got to sleep completely by myself last night, and it was glorious. Glorious. We all sprawl, all three of us sprawl. So 3 people trying to sprawl in a queen-size bed does not really work. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority of Hildebrandt's former clients who have shared their experiences publicly are now divorced. Oh, thanks. Love you too. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority of Hildebrandt's clients who've shared their experience are now divorced. This includes Kevin Franke, Spencer Tibbetts, parents Adam Steed, Stephanie Jones, Dave Bateman, and plaintiff. Similarly, as explained above, hundreds of individuals commented on ConneXions' social media pages disclosing Hildebrandt's destruction of their families using Enterprise's fraudulent tactics. Defendants admit knowledge of the harmful nature of the enterprise. Members of the enterprise disclosed numerous times that they knew of the fraudulent and harmful nature of the services and products sold by ConneXions and the enterprise's scheme. English. You would think English was my 4th language based on how I read this. And sorry about the audio. She's literally messing with my stuff all the time. Yeah, Roy. Well, I would love to get a king size bed. However, it's not in the budget right now. There are more pressing things to deal with in the budget than a king size bed. But I do appreciate everybody who has donated or bought something off of the Amazon list. I appreciate the generosity. I love this community. I mean, I am so grateful for every single one of you. It's I can't even believe like that people who don't like who just know me from the internet want to help out my family. It is amazing. Squid has her tongue wrapped around her ID. They can't see what she's saying. Yeah, it's typical Squid denying baby Squid her American right to pour milk on the floor. Slug. Good morning, sir. Derailing chat as usual. Hildebrandt posted a video in which she admits that she read reviews for her services. In the video, Hildebrandt angrily stated the vast majority, or the majority of individuals, approximately 50 to 75 people. Every time that I talk, she does too. In the video, Hildebrandt angrily stated the majority of individuals, approximately 50 to 75 people, gave her the lowest reviews, and only 5 individuals left 5-star reviews. I wonder who those 5 people were, if they were, plants or people that were already, it's close. I will post a link to it. And somehow there is something that, here's the wish list. Amazon let people purchase things more than once, which is weird. Oh, Tammy, you are fine. Tammy. I was not meaning that to be rude or, I just know that I have an echo. Like, I'm working on it. I ordered rugs. In the wish list is panels. Like, this is a panel. I know it's behind me and it doesn't do shit, but it was too pretty not to put behind me. So like we're working on it. But when you go from a carpeted room with curtains, right now there are no curtains in this room either. The window is right there. Everything in here is like hard surfaces. So we are working on it. It is good. Please, I am sorry if that at all meant to be like, I did not mean that to be rude. I was not trying to be. I was talking about you having an echo. It's hard to follow you, but I just realized that I had 2 windows open of your stream. I'm so sorry. You're not a dipshit. You are not. And I made sure when you said that I didn't have another stream open, because sometimes that causes problems too. Even if I'm not playing it and it's just open, it sometimes causes an issue. Technology is weird. Tammy, you are fine. You are fine. Good morning, Rogue Mama. You want the bagel? Yeah. You're fine, Tammy. But I do know I have an echo in this room. Like, so when people are like, your audio is off, it's like, I know it right now. I'm working on it. She took. Oh. I'm sorry if anybody gets that I talk to off the internet gets a random text. The little has my phone. Whoops. Yo, that's true too. But I hit copied link. This gift list is shared. Link copied to clipboard. It's not letting AT1. It's funny that you say that, because I literally hit copy wish or copy link, and it says link is copied to clipboard, and I hit post and it doesn't work. So let me do this. But y'all are awesome either. There we go. I had to manually do it. Can you not play that on my stream? You can watch it. You just have to. She's playing some music, and I don't want to get copyright struck by Shabuzi. So yeah, I did it for some reason. Like when it said it copied. When I hit copied link, it didn't actually copy it. I had to manually do it. So thanks AT1 for letting me know. I had technology is fun. Yeah, it would be more like Shabuzi, David Guetta, the Beatles. She has a wide variety of music. So getting back to the, I'm sorry, this whole stream has gotten derailed multiple times. I do wonder who left these 5-star reviews, though, if it was people who worked for the enterprise. In the video, Hildebrandt angrily related how individuals are mad with her services and then leave a 1-star review. I mean, mad at her services. When you cause people to get divorced, I mean, when you cause multiple families to get divorced and you tell people that they need to move out of the house, there's reasons that I can see people leaving 1-star reviews. And you know what? Just suck it up, because people are not going to like you. Not everybody is going to like you. Even if you're the best person or you think you're the best person on the planet, there are people who are not going to like you. And guess what? That's okay. Hildebrandt mandated that her customers and followers leave 5-star reviews. Mandated. See, there's the problem. If you mandate something, like you mandate something, it's not going to go over well for you. A similar response is seen on the ConneXions podcast, where on Spotify, the podcasts have 1.3 out of 5 rating, and on Apple Podcasts, they have a 2.5 out of 5 rating. The Apple Podcast platform allows comments which explain in detail the harmful nature of the enterprise. In a shocking video in which Hildebrandt compares herself to Franke, I'm sorry, I can't believe I'm about to read this, and I apologize to anybody. I am just reading. Compares herself and Franke to Rosa Parks. Hildebrandt and Franke get explained that they get attacked every day for the falsehoods they perpetrate. You did not compare yourself to Rosa Parks. Honestly. Yeah, and pretty much, yeah. This right here, if you try to tell me to do something, or that I can't do something because, I don't know, you're a lawyer and you don't want me to talk about a certain topic, I will talk about that certain topic to spite you, because I am that petty bitch. Yeah, they did. Well, according to this, they did. And remember, just everything that is put in here, it's to form a narrative. So we take everything with a grain of salt until I've seen, like, going to Apple and yeah. Yeah, Flash fan. That happens. Yeah. And no, you're not the only person that's irritated by that. Rosalind has brought it up, and I think she brought it up again on Sunday, where it's like the spelling of certain things, the capitalization of certain things, like truth is always capitalized. Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. That is where I that I will do the opposite of that, because I don't have $1 million to give. No, I wish I did, though. I wish I could be as, like, you know, I wish I could be, you know, philanthropic. In a shocking video in which Hildebrandt compares herself and Franke to Frank, they get attacked every day for the falsehoods they perpetrate. In summary, the enterprise is fraudulent in multiple ways. After using misleading vernacular that Hildebrandt and ConneXions offer counseling and life coaching products and services, and even that they can resolve any negative issues, members of the enterprise then falsely diagnose victims with pathologies to further manipulate them and entice victims to spend money on unnecessary services and products, brainwash victims, encourage and mandate that victims engage in severe psychological and physical including physical torture, encourage members of and victims to cut fathers off from their children. And this is where, like, the church advocating for Jodi's services, but yet being where in a religion that is very traditional in the way a household is run, where, you know, the men are not necessarily like the only important person, or the most important person, but like fathers and men in the household play a very important role. So to cut fathers off from their children, just how the church justified that. Like, yes, I keep putting this as to Scientology, and that's why, like, that's why it's like, is it a cult? Because I believe the other one is this one is a cult. And it's like, when you brainwash victims, you are a cult. Actively destroy marriages and families, and the victims submit to Hildebrandt's will. Upon information and belief, members of the enterprise know of the fraudulent nature of their scheme because Hildebrandt has been open with members about her torture and abuse of minors, victimization of clients, and other individuals for at least 15 years. In multiple videos disseminated over interstate wires, members of the enterprise make statements demonstrating that the enterprise was aware that its schemes and the services and products sold by ConneXions were fraudulent. Savage implements Hildebrandt's methodology to damage plaintiff. Savage is plaintiff's ex-wife. In an interview, Steed described individuals who implemented Hildebrandt's methodology, clients that are close to her and that are probably not very good people in the first place, but Hildebrandt enhances their abilities under her guidance to do incredibly criminal things. This was brought by, we're on page 39, so let me go back to the very beginning so that I can give you 100% accurate information. This was brought by Michael Robert Tillman. So, and it's against Jodi, Ruby, ConneXions Classroom LLC, Michael Washburn, an individual, and Jane Doe's, I through X. So those are individual people who are remaining nameless at this particular point in the situation. 39. There we go. This accurately describes Savage and her implementation of Hildebrandt's methodology to victimize and abuse plaintiff and his daughter for the past decade. Savage has been an ardent Hildebrandt associate for years and inflicted Hildebrandt's brainwashing tactics on plaintiff and his minor daughter. Savage has used interstate wires, including without limitation telephone communications, emails, and text messages, repeatedly to recruit plaintiff and others to the enterprise and to implement Hildebrandt's methodology of abuse. Oh. Captain, I hope you feel better. If people were truly running their household how the Bible teaches, then everyone would be equally important, just having different roles. Yeah, and that's one of the issues that I think my mother-in-law had with me, is Mr. Squid and I do a lot of like just because I'm home all the time doesn't mean I'm the only person like cleaning or cooking. For 2 years, she thought I didn't cook or didn't know how to cook. It's like, no, when I make like tacos on a Monday or Tuesday, I don't feel the need to post that on social media because it's not special. It's just dinner. But when we go out and we buy tomahawk steaks once in a while, and I post that on my social media because it's tomahawk steaks, it's kind of a big deal. Or when Mr. Squid spends 16 to 20 hours smoking a pork butt and making pulled pork, those are big deals. Like those are, so she'd be like, well, he's the only one that ever brought anything over here. It's like, no. But that's the side note. That's a that's a rabbit hole we don't have time for. Savage has furthered the objectives and fraudulent scheme of the enterprise for close to a decade, all to extreme financial and emotional harm to plaintiff and his daughter, who is currently 10 years old. So they've been doing this since his daughter was born. Oh. Savage is plaintiff's ex-wife and the mother of EJT. Savage became involved with Hildebrandt in 2015 when she sought Hildebrandt out for counseling services. Shortly thereafter, Savage became a loyal associate of Hildebrandt. As typical of the enterprise's fraudulent scheme, Savage initially sought Hildebrandt's services for simply for personal and marital counseling. Thereafter, Savage quickly and eagerly accepted Hildebrandt's methodology and became a member of the enterprise. Shortly after Savage's indoctrination into the enterprise, Savage began implementing Hildebrandt's methodology into her parenting and marital affairs with EJT and plaintiff. Upon information and belief, Hildebrandt and Savage conspired to create the appearance of marital problems with plaintiff that did not exist to recruit plaintiff to the enterprise and induce him to spend money on connection services and products. Jesus. Like, it's not that I don't believe in marital counseling, but like creating problems where there were none, that's my problem. That's my problem. Flash fan, steak is not unhealthy. Steak is not unhealthy. Like, steak is good protein and fat source. Like, it is, and as long as you are in general healthy, the cholesterol in steak and the fat in steak is fine. Hey Musey, how are you? It's not that I don't believe in marital counseling, but like, this is the kind of stories that I hear more than once. And I'm like, y'all. Upon information and belief, Hildebrandt and Savage conspired to create the appearance of marital problems with plaintiff that did not exist to recruit plaintiff to the enterprise to induce him to spend money on connection services and products. Sorry, I just had to read that again because that sentence or that paragraph is like, it. So let me guess, the enterprise also has a side U-Haul business. I mean, it would be lucrative. It would be lucrative. Just like when you have to buy stuff for counseling that you are already paying for, that's where I have a problem. That's where it becomes schemy and like, is this real? When you have to buy services, because in paying for the counseling, generally speaking, your counselor provides workbooks, like cognitive behavioral therapy, like you get a workbook, but it's provided by the therapist that you're already paying for, not extra money. Money. Have a good day. There we go. Ugh. Savage's conspiracy with Hildebrandt to manufacture marital problems is demonstrated by Savage's sworn testimony at the most abusive thing plaintiff ever did to her was extend a family vacation in Canada by 1 week in July of 2016 because he was too ill to travel, suffering from a respiratory infection. At the same time, Savage was punishing him by telling him that because he was in distortion, she threatened to leave him without a residence upon returning. During the time Hildebrandt was treating Savage in or around July of 2016, plaintiff told Savage that the most important thing to him was to live their religion together. Savage immediately responded, "The most important thing to me is to be married to someone who lives Jodi Hildebrandt's principles." I mean, I could see that being an issue. Like I could see it's I just sometimes I'm like, okay, would I be mad if Mr. Squid went on a vacation to Canada, I'm assuming this is a hunting and or fishing trip or something, and he had extended by a week, would I be upset? Slightly. I'm not going to lie. I would be like, well, that just ruins the plans for next week. But like, to say that's the worst thing that would ever happen, like if that's the worst thing that ever happens in a relationship is he couldn't travel, so he was sick and extended a vacation, like that's pretty good marriage. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am not married, but I'm like, you got a baby squid text. I'm sorry. Yeah, she's got my phone and she's yep. I brought it up on my computer. You got a whole lot of letters there. And none of them actually even autocorrected to anything. I'm sorry, what he didn't marry Jodi Hildebrandt. Yeah, and I apologize, but if I'm taking marital advice from someone who never had a successful, or who didn't have a successful marriage, to me, that's also a red flag. Not a huge one, but like, it's like taking parenting advice from someone with no kids. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but no, no. What the frick is their distortion supposed to mean? Tammy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Their distortion is so in Scientology, when someone doesn't you don't agree with someone, or someone isn't a Scientologist, you have to separate yourself from them. Being in distortion is the opposite of being in the truth. So when you're in the truth, capital T, it is, you follow all of Jodi Hildebrandt's principles. You are, following exactly what she wants. You are doing everything that Jodi Hildebrandt tells you to do. Well, anybody who questions anything or doesn't agree and follow the principles to the letter are in distortion. So it's just one of those weird. It's just one of those weird situations. In 2016, plaintiff objected to the amount of the couple's money Savage was spending on enterprise services and products through personal counseling and related written materials with Hildebrandt and ConneXions. Savage responded that she was willing to spend all their money on the enterprise, and that's what I'd be like, I want a divorce. Thank you. Like, check, please. Because I'm sorry, like, for a while, a bunch of Mr. Squid's money went to hunting stuff, but like not all. We were able to pay the bills and shit. But two, like it wasn't a constant thing. And to spend all your money and be willing to spend all your money on this lady, ooh, that's must be distorted AF. Yeah, I have them. I just keep forgetting to bring them in here. They're unpacked and they were put in the pantry, and I keep forgetting to bring them in here. But I need to. I'm up to 2, because I owe Ung Hung Hero 1, and I owe Tammy 1. So I'm up to 2 garlic cloves. This willingness to contribute endless funding to the enterprise is consistent among enterprise members. That's where it sounds like Scientology. Like, you have to keep buying materials and things. And it's like, that's where it gets very Scientologist to me. During the course of their marriage, Savage spent approximately $5,000 of marital funds on services through ConneXions, including, without limitation, counseling sessions with Hildebrandt, which were around $200 per individual session, and $100 per month for group sessions. That's excessive. $200 per session, which I'm assuming is about an hour. $200 an hour to anybody who's not a lawyer or a doctor, I have a problem with. Savage met with Hildebrandt individually, weekly or bi-weekly. Hey, Killdozard. how are you? And thank you so much. I just have to go and thank people individually. Upon information and belief, Savage has at times directly influenced ConneXions' coaching Instagram page, at least on one occasion, providing her inaccurate account of a situation with plaintiff in order to further the efforts of the enterprise and induce victims to members to spend money on ConneXions services and products to the financial benefit of the enterprise. See, and this is my problem when you hear a story, you are only hearing what that person wants you to hear. And if the other party isn't speaking up, you are only hearing one side of the story. And that's my problem with a lot of things, especially the first 15 minutes of the stream. When you are only hearing one side of a story, and you believe that one side of the story without receipts and or receipts and or hearing the other person's accounts of the situation. That's why when people give reviews on things, it's like I get very weary of 1 or 5-star reviews because, one, nothing is perfect or absolutely horrible. There's a gray area. And secondly, you're only hearing what people want you to hear, and are those filtered reviews. For example, I was looking up reviews for a Blackstone. We have a Blackstone. I love it. The person was like, I used it once and it got rusty. Well, duh, because you didn't do it right. You didn't condition it. You did not season it prior to your first use. Therefore, it gets rusty. So, you need context on things. And just hearing a 5-star review or a 1-star review, there is no context, generally speaking. Not trying to be overly broad, but this is why when you only hear one side of the story in a review or something like that, you have to do more research, because nothing is perfect. So if someone makes something out to be perfect, you have a problem. No product is perfect. No person is perfect. So if someone is all over and thinking everything anyone does is perfect or right, and anyone makes the right decisions 100% of the time, you got to be very weary, in my opinion, about sorry, but in my opinion, Hildebrandt and her ilk suffer from a lack of minerals. PB 185. Okay. I mean, don't disagree with you necessarily, but you didn't hear that from me. Savage pressured plaintiff to attend and pay for instructions at ConneXions with the enterprise. At this time, Hildebrandt and ConneXions established a direct relationship with plaintiff, which in turn established a duty for Hildebrandt and ConneXions to inform plaintiff of material facts that would impact their relationship and the advice provided to plaintiff and Savage by Hildebrandt and ConneXions. Plaintiff felt he was being led into a cult, and upon researching ConneXions, discovered Hildebrandt's prior professional and illegal misconduct. Past coming back to get you. At all relevant times, Savage was, and this is why we never claim to be perfect people, because everybody has a past. And I've said it in relation to other topics that I've covered, but when someone tries to tell you how to act and tries to manipulate your behavior, whether it's a politician, a therapist, or anybody, the people who try to tell you what your opinion should be are the people who have the most shit to hide, i.e. Destiny, Jodi Hildebrandt. It's all the same. And thank you. And I know this is a difficult this is not as widely viewed as some other topics, but guess what? The only drama here is in the lawsuit. And with those people, there is no people who cover this have different opinions and feel the need to throw each other under the bus. Nope. The only people we hate in this topic is Jodi and Ruby. Ugh. At all relevant times, Savage was and is aware of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and connection services and products. I wonder if Savage is one of the people running this enterprise while Jodi is behind bars. Because I've heard that this is still a thing, even though the owner is behind bars. Make it make sense. Yeah, and I have to thank Rogue Mama for this one, because she and Rosalind, because Rogue Mama was the one who told me about this lawsuit, and Rosalind definitely knows more about and has done way more research, and Rogue Mama has too. But Rosalind and Rogue Mama know way more about the interworkings and the Facebook pages and all the stuff that makes me like, sometimes, as much as I like talking about things, sometimes you just don't want to read things because you don't want to know. And that's kind of a situation. 1,000 yards, not feet. What was the original comment I missed? So, and we have something that I can easily go under, over 1,000 yards. Just saying. Sorry. Oh boy. As plaintiff's spouse, Savage had a duty to inform plaintiff of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and of connection services and products. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This one right here, this is an opinion. I don't necessarily agree with that opinion, especially if the plaintiff or the Savage thought that, because there is a chance that she thought this was all legitimate. So to put that opinion, and this is where, like, even though I don't like Ruby and Jodi, obviously, I call bullshit out when I see it, and I'm like, Savage had a duty as plaintiff's spouse. Like, if you think something's legit, and you truly think something's legit, at this particular point in time, was she brainwashed into thinking that this was legit? And so she had a duty to inform plaintiff. Did she really though? Just saying. My personal opinion, feel free to disagree with me. Given the drastic and destructive impact of the enterprise had on plaintiff and EJT's life, detailed herein, the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and connection services and products was then existing material fact. At no time did Savage inform plaintiff of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and of connection services and products. Savage knew of this illegitimacy in part, being so involved with connections for months. She personally observed almost every family who used the program be destroyed by the enterprise. And because Savage also observed the psychological torture inflicted on victims. My only thing with Savage here is, how brainwashed was she? Because if you have any, like, there's a reason people stay in cults. And then years later, they look back and they're like, I can't believe I stayed. So, material fact, your fact, maybe not the actual. And this is where lawsuits, even complaints, only tell you what they want you to hear. And this is why it's important to view both sides of a situation. No matter if you want Ruby and Jodi to fry in Minecraft, or you are their biggest fans. You have to look at both sides of a situation. And, like, that's why yesterday when people were commenting that Jeremy had lost something by Bruce being able to file or take that leave to file a motion in response, I knew that was going to happen, and I even called it, because the judge wants to see both sides of the situation. Like, okay, you're accused of doing this. Justify why you thought that was a good idea. See both sides of a topic before you make a decision. So I knew that was coming a mile away. But like, this is why we pay attention to both sides of a situation and not just live in an echo chamber. So, At all relevant times, Hildebrandt, acting individually and on behalf of ConneXions, was and is aware of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and of ConneXions services and products. That I believe, 100%. At no point did Hildebrandt, acting either individually or on behalf of ConneXions, inform plaintiff of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and of ConneXions services and products. As the owner and creator of the system, sort of speak, she knew. She knew what she was doing. Like, she knew. Plaintiff did not become aware of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise until the arrests and subsequent sentencing of Hildebrandt and Franke in August of 2023 and February of 2024, respectively. Given the depravity of the actions that resulted from Hildebrandt's and ConneXions' failure to disclose the material fact of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and ConneXions services and products, as detailed in paragraphs 218 through 371. Oh, here we go. We are at paragraph 216, so we're just getting into that. Oh, herein, Hildebrandt, acting individually or on behalf of ConneXions, did engage in actions that were willful, malicious, and intentionally fraudulent, or at the very least, constitute a knowing and reckless indifference towards and a disregard of the rights of plaintiff and EJT. Further, given the depravity of Savage's actions that resulted from her failure to disclose the material fact of the illegitimacy and fraudulent nature of the enterprise and ConneXions services and products, as detailed in paragraphs 218 through 371, herein, Savage did engage in actions that were willful, malicious, and intentionally fraudulent, or at the very least, constitute a knowledge and reckless indifference towards and disregard of the rights of plaintiff and EJT. Plaintiff repeatedly protested Savage's subservience to Hildebrandt, membership in the enterprise, and attempts to coerce plaintiff to accept Hildebrandt's methodology and to participate in the enterprise. On numerous occasions, including in writing, plaintiff informed Savage that Hildebrandt was destroying their marriage and pleaded with Savage that she see any other counselor besides Hildebrandt. I wonder what would have happened if she would have seen another therapist. If that therapist would have been like, oh shit, what is happening here? I mean, this complaint is going to be as thick as the Affordable Care Act was. Yeah, that 1,000 pages that we can't pass, or we can't read it until we pass it. That is a phrase that I will never forget. We have to pass it before we can read it. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me. Plaintiff also expressed his fear that Hildebrandt would destroy his reputation through public defamatory allegations, as she has done to Steed. Despite plaintiff's protestations, I know I pronounced that wrong, but I'm sorry. Savage declared she would spend all of the couple's money on the enterprise and ConneXions services and products and would stay married to plaintiff only if he declared unwavering allegiance to Hildebrandt's methodology. This right here, if this is true, you don't declare any unwavering allegiance to anybody outside of your marriage. Like, anybody. Like, nobody is right 100% of the time, even your spouse. And the earlier that you can figure that out in life, the better off, in my opinion, you will be. Because not everybody, you can like somebody and not like everything they do. But you can still like them as a person, even though you don't like some of their actions. But yeah, that neither here nor there. If you know, you know. Precisely what Steed's ex-wife did to him at Hildebrandt's instruction. Savage admitted to plaintiff that Hildebrandt told her that plaintiff was addicted to corn, despite Hildebrandt never having met plaintiff or spoken to him. Sweet Jesus. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That is ridiculous. That's a whole nother topic, but that's ridiculous. That's another rabbit hole. Corn, but not corn. So, like, yeah. Savage admitted to plaintiff that Hildebrandt told her that plaintiff was addicted to recording Smexy time, despite Hildebrandt never having met plaintiff or spoken to him. You can't diagnose someone you've never met. That's another ethical thing. You can't diagnose someone you've never met. Cannot diagnose someone you've never met. Like, let's stress this. Therapists, but legally and ethically, by their board rules, you cannot remote diagnose. That is why when if you watch a like I think it's Dr. G Explains, he goes, this is not a diagnosis. I am not diagnosing anybody. I am just observing, and these are my opinions. Because you cannot legally or ethically diagnose people that you have never met. Like, so if you hear people going, oh, I think this person is a psychopath, but you've never met them, you've never had a conversation with them, that is their opinion. That is not an official diagnosis. But, oh my God, that, like, there's another therapist red flag. Upon information and belief, Hildebrandt instructed Savage to scan plaintiff's laptop without his knowledge to find corn. Around February 2016, Savage searched plaintiff's laptop without his knowledge in an effort to interfere or interrupt plaintiff's lawful use of his computer technology, implicating criminal conduct under Utah Code Section 76-6-703. And I have the feeling that, and I have not looked to see if there are more documents in this case other than what we've already talked about until we're done reading this, because this is a lengthy complaint and we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But I have a feeling that they are going to push for the district attorney or the county attorney, whatever they want to call themselves in that state, for criminal charges, or for the DA to at least look into kind of what the judge did with Laura Owens, referred it to the county attorney for possible criminal charges. Plaintiff's computer was not marital property. Plaintiff purchased the computer before the parties were married. Savage admitted under oath, I did scan plaintiff's laptop. Savage did not find any evidence of corn. Even with no evidence, this is the thing, this is red flag number 3,000. Plaintiff had viewed pornography or otherwise had an addiction. Savage insisted that plaintiff pay and attend Hildebrandt's 12-step program for addiction through ConneXions, or she would divorce him. Ugh. So much to say. I do computer repair and maintenance as my second job. I tell all my clients that if you find that on your computer it is not rare, some pages will open, others, and it ends up in your temp folder. Oh, that's an interesting thing. I would have never known that because, we just don't do that. we just don't do that. These type of ultimatums to pay money to ConneXions for the financial benefit of the enterprise for fraudulent, unnecessary services are a typical manipulation tactic of the enterprise members to further the objectives of the enterprise and financially benefit enterprise. Savage claimed that if plaintiff was not addicted to corn, he must be addicted to something else. And there is a thing of like, I believe that everybody is addicted to something. Some people are addicted to drama. Some people are addicted to, working out. So everybody's got something that's their vice, so to speak. Rest in peace, my friend Jeff. But it just to say that, oh, you don't have a corn addiction, so you're probably addicted to something else, is like, say what now? Red flag number 3001. Savage knowingly implemented Hildebrandt's abusive methodology by assigning a false pathology to plaintiff to manipulate him into paying exorbitant fees to the enterprise for unnecessary services under the threat of immediate divorce. And here's the thing. This is an ethical issue too. This is an ethical issue for Jodi. Like, you have broken every ethical rule in your profession because you are not supposed to it's like a taxi driver when you're going on a trip that's 5 miles and they go around blocks and things that you would never, they take the long way because they want to make more money. Unethical. Savage's intentional actions detailed in paragraphs 189 through 231 herein constitutes willful, malicious, and intentional behavior, or at the very least constitutes a knowing and reckless indifference towards and disregard of the rights of plaintiff. Yeah, I'm addicted to Celsius. Oh, you have an addiction. So you need to pay all this money because you have some random addiction that we don't actually know of. Savage unlawfully restricted plaintiff's access to EJT under the ultimatum that plaintiffs submit to the enterprise membership or face divorce and loss of custody. And here's my thing also, like, I have a problem with this, not just with the enterprise or Jodi Hildebrandt, but like in divorce proceedings, like this right here, like my friend, his ex-wife, had tried to get full custody of their children by filing a temporary restraining order and saying that the kids were scared to be with him. Like, just because in a divorce proceeding, just because you have a problem with the person doesn't mean that the kids do. And just because that person might not be nice to you anymore does not mean that they are a bad father. Like, that's another, like, ugh. Squid's list of pet peeves, all in one document. Be a very long document, but all of Squid's pet peeves are pretty much mentioned in this document. So if anybody ever wants to know what I do or don't think based on like relationships and, you know, what my pet peeves are with drama and all of that, I do not. I have a lot of pet peeves and they're all here in one way or another. They were all here. You don't use a child as a pawn in your game, whether that's with a spouse that you're divorcing or a mother-in-law that you don't talk to. Like, a child is not to be used as a pawn. Like, it's just, it makes me like cringe. In May of 2016, and I'm not saying by any means I'm perfect. No, you can talk all the crap you want about the Army. I was Navy. Like, you can talk all the crap you want about the Army and the Marines. Just kidding. But if you can talk all the crap you want about the services themselves, but if you talked crap about Roy, I would kick your ass. Like, you can go after the enterprise as a whole, but individual people, I will, In May of 2016, at the direction of Hildebrandt, Savage demanded the couple separate. At this time, Savage also unilaterally and unlawfully dictated plaintiff's visitation with EJT, who at the time was around 18 months old. That poor kid. Marine yet. Well, Navy, never again volunteer yourself. Marine, my ass rides in Navy equipment, or muscles are required, intelligence not expected. The time Savage afforded to plaintiff with EJT was substantially less than the statutory minimum parent time guaranteed under Utah Code, Section 81-9-304. Oh, bringing up those laws again, those pesky laws that get in the way of like you wanting to be a manipulative bitch. God help us. And that's to say that all of this is 100% accurate, which this is his version of events. May be accurate, may not be. We have to wait to see what the other side says. Savage initially allowed plaintiff only 2 hours of parent time every other day, with plaintiff bearing the responsibility for all transportation and expense. Later, she only allowed around 6 hours every Saturday, again, all at plaintiff's expense and transportation. Like, oh, I'm just returning a text. In May of 2016, when Savage unlawfully restricted plaintiff's time with EJT and then demanded that she and plaintiff separate, Savage provided plaintiff with ultimatums designed to either financially enrich or further the objectives of the enterprise to comply with or otherwise face divorce. Like, I have another problem with ultimatums too, but that's a sidebar. Ugh. Marines removed tanks because they realized that they didn't have big enough crayons to teach that properly. They don't use crayons to teach because those are their lunchtime snacks. Like, come on. Like, you know that. Savage's actions demonstrate her commitment to the enterprise and implementation of Hildebrandt's methodologies. Specifically, Savage made the following demands on plaintiff, all aimed to either financially benefit the enterprise or coerce plaintiff to join the enterprise. Quote, attend the ConneXions 101 class to learn principles of truth being capitalized, in a group setting. Here, Savage attempts to coerce plaintiff into spending money on the enterprise's fraudulent services, thereby attempting to financially enrich the enterprise. Enterprise godly sorrow for every neglecting and abusive behavior. Be able to articulate what godly... Oh, okay. Here's my thing. If this is a quote and spelled exactly the way it was quoted, do you notice they pronounce or they capitalize truth every time, but not godly? Anybody have an issue with that besides me? Hey King Paco, how are you? Like this is one of those things of like you capitalize truth every time because you're not in the truth unless you're with these people, but you don't capitalize godly every time. Like, and they did it once, but like godly here, godly there. Like, if this is a accurate quote, because we all know that just because someone quotes something doesn't mean it's 100% accurate unless you've seen receipts, which I'm hoping there's an exhibit. Experiencing godly sorrow for every neglecting and abusive behavior, be able to articulate what godly sorry means and describe what your godly sorry has felt like for every abusive behavior. That's just weird. That sentence just is weird to me. Like, just weird. I wish there was, but unfortunately, this isn't the biggest drama. This isn't a drama between YouTubers, so it doesn't get the views. This is just a drama between child abusers or child abuse, which sucks. But I feel like they didn't get long enough prison time. Hildebrandt and other members of the enterprise conspire to coerce husbands to falsely confess to abuse in order to cut them off from their children. Oh, that just irks me. Like, kids need their dad. Like, kids need their dad. Like, as a mother, you cannot act as both effectively as having two different people. because there are reasons that God made moms and dads and not just moms. Because there are certain skills that I could never teach baby squid that I feel like she needs to learn in life. And that he is better at teaching her because he is a dude. And that's just what. Yeah. And honestly, half the reason I talk about certain topics is to, oh, so she's in my phone. I have to go because my little one is in my phone and is commenting now. So I will be right back. I have to go grab my phone. Y'all get a drink. I will be back. She slammed the bedroom door and now she can't get out. Give me 1 second. Hey, how about we don't slam doors? She's gonna keep doing it. She's gonna keep doing it and she's gonna keep crying because she can't get out or she can't get into this room anymore because she closed the door. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, when she was, I put my stream on the TV in the bedroom. So one of the people falsely watching this is me. I have to keep opening this door because we have not figured out that we can slam doors in this house, but we cannot open the doors. Oh my goodness, baby squid derailed the stream. Angel. No, do not close the door. Do not close the door. I had to put stuff in front of the door because she wants to slam the door. And then she gets mad because she slams the door and can't get in. She mad. So we are probably going to cut this off in about 2 pages if she doesn't calm down. I'm sure that there was an autocorrect there. Angel, you close that door. I'm not letting you back in. All right. This godly sorrow is weird to me. Hildebrandt and other members of the enterprise conspire to coerce husbands to falsely confess to abuse in order to cut them off from their children. Here, Savage conspired with Hildebrandt to coerce plaintiff to falsely confess to abuse so that he could see his daughter and avoid divorce. That's just sad on so many levels. Find and utilize a sponsor. What is he, an alcoholic? And be able to identify and eliminate pride, manipulation, codependent, and controlling tendencies. Pot, meat, kettle. Just saying. Here, Savage utilizes Hildebrandt manipulation techniques to ascribe plaintiff with a non-existent pathology to coerce him into spending money on fraudulent enterprise services. Such pathologies include addictions and alleged abuse that plaintiff never exhibited or engaged in, including a control addiction. Oh. It's time for you to join the club. I'm joining the club. My niece runs the house. Yeah, well, we figured out that now she's beating down the door. I gotta go open it. Hey, stop closing the door. No. Hey, look, say hi. No? Okay. Baby squid smash. That's about right. Like, we haven't figured out how to open doors yet, but we can sure as heck close them. She's got that slamming the door down. Could you imagine if she was a child of the 90s and she could slam a phone? Good Lord. We'd be crazy. Oh, she's going to take her little basketball hoop that's in this room and leave. She's dragging it to the living room. I love this little girl so much. Sometimes I wonder what goes on in her head. Oh, she's going to close the door again. Oh, my goodness. Identify the harmful behaviors you experience in your family of origin and emotionally damaging behaviors which are current within that family. Also, prove to me by your actions you will sever yourself from the behavior and lifestyles. What the hell? Sorry, some of these things of like, because I don't have the time to read a 112-page document before y'all. So a lot of this we figure out together. Oh, she did that in mine last night. She pushed me out of the bedroom door. She not push like a full-grown adult would push you and you'd go flying, but she pushes on your leg to back you up, and then she closes the door on you to the point where it made Mr. Squid upset last night. She's like, I know you didn't just do that to your mother. Oh, yes, she did, and it won't be the first, and it sure as shit won't be the last. Here, sorry, my internet got wonky for a minute. This is just ridiculous. And and it's that isolation of you're isolating these men from their families, which is why? It's one thing to have a father who wants to be or who doesn't want to be in a child's life, which I've seen, or a mother to think a father is a bad dad, but then to manipulate someone into making them believe that the only way to stay in their child's life is to do all of this extra step. It's bad, and it's hard enough. Let me see if I can word this properly. It's hard enough keeping a family together without outside influences affecting, people. It is hard enough to keep a marriage together or a relationship, let alone to have an outside influence. Stop, please. Baby girl, mama said no. Going to be slamming doors. Yeah, knock that, Lucy. Beautiful. Yeah, she knocks like she's the popo, and Speaking of police, I believe one of my neighbors is a cop, which is quite nice. I'm okay with that, but it's yeah. It's interesting. Please do not slam the door. Thank you. Oh, here she goes again. Here she goes again. In July 2016, in one of the many instances in which Savage used interstate and or foreign wires to further the enterprise's fraudulent objectives, Savage demonstrates her commitment to the enterprise in an email to plaintiff. Mike, what I hear you say is the bad Mike is dead and the good Mike is in full swing. This is just phrased funny. I will hold you accountable for your behaviors to align with what you are saying. If you are where you say you are, will be willing to step into the truth and stay there. Partnered with God, I will be the judge of where you are. I'm trying so hard to be like not an uber bitch right now. I will be the judge of where you are. And although I am so hopeful about what you say, your behaviors will be the real manifestation of it. When you come home, I hope you are prepared to show me in your actions you are real in recovery. You are in real recovery. I open the door and she screams at me. I open the door and she screams at me. But like, what, you beat down the door? Please don't close that door. And then she smiles at me like, here, I'm closing it again. I need to put a rubber band and tape over it so it can't close. That way we don't have this problem. This email is like, if you're going to like be unethical or be an uber bitch to your spouse, don't put it in writing. Yeah, she'd figure that one out real quick. What I need to do is you can put a rubber band around both door handles and over the latch so that the latch can't close. That's what I need to do. But Mr. Squid moved the rubber bands and I don't know where they are. So I had a couple hanging on a hook where I could easily get to them. And I think he put them away and I don't know where that away is yet. It's the problem with moving and unpacking things is like you put stuff where you think it makes sense and neither one of us understand each other's situation in life in the sense of like, why did you put it there? Because it made sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. Savage's communication demonstrates her adherence to Hildebrandt's methodology and her implementation of the enterprise's tactics to manipulate victims into enterprise membership to further the fraudulent financial scheme of the enterprise. Savage implies that plaintiff must be saved from distortion through punishment to be in truth as defined by Hildebrandt. Savage alleged that plaintiff has a non-existent addiction that could only be absolved by purchasing services and products through ConneXions, and Savage instructed that plaintiff can only remediate his relationship with Savage by adhering to Hildebrandt's methodology. So weird. Purchasing service and products through ConneXions and pursuing membership in the enterprise for the enterprise's financial benefit. Sounds a lot like Scientology, doesn't it? On or around September 5th, 2016, plaintiff's mother invited him to Arizona for her birthday and Labor Day. Utilizing a tactic of the Hildebrandt methodology, Savage told plaintiff that seeing his mother would be abusive and that he could see EJT if he did not see his mother. That is also a horrible thing. I have to go open this door yet again and take care of my daughter. Every time I open the door, she screams at me because she's mad. But then she closes it. The logic of a 2-year-old isn't exactly there. So I have about 4 minutes, and we are going to cut this off. Because I like to keep these streams around 2 hours, because anything over that and my attention span goes. So I try to make it easy. Do not close that door. Come here. Then do not close that door. I can try, but right now, it's like she just does it over and over again, and it does try my patience, where I'm like, yo, you do this and then wonder why you can't get in. Like, there's a natural consequence to an action. Thank you for that. There's a natural consequence to an action. When you close a door and you don't have the skill to open the door handle yet, it's just the logic. I just have to laugh because it's just so funny. It's kind of frustrating, but it's funny. Because I'm like, oldest daughter used to slam doors. I removed hers and put up a curtain. She had to earn the hinges back one screw at a time. Yeah, no 15-hour stream. Well, one of those things, too, it's easier for replay crew when you don't have a 4-hour, 5-hour stream. No offense to the people who stream that long. I just can't do it. Angel. Angel. Okay, then don't come here. When I yell at her to come here, I'm like, come here. And she's like, no. It's like, well, then don't. Then don't come here. I don't know what to say at this point. Oh, toddler life. I just can't, like, this is just, oh my goodness. Not seeing his mother would be abusive. Seeing your mother would be how is that a thing? I'm not a particularly big fan of Mr. Squid's mother, but I would never stop him from seeing his mom, because that's just weird. Like, and if he did see his mom, which he has her blocked, not me. So, he could see EJT if he didn't see his mother. Like, so he could see his daughter if he did not see her which is so fucking weird. Plaintiff decided to stay in Utah to see EJT, and Savage told Plaintiff that she was proud Plaintiff did not see his family. That is isolating. That is abusive behavior right there. When you're isolating someone from their family, Savage was an abusive bitch, my opinion. But prove me wrong. Ultimately, Savage did not allow Plaintiff to see EJT and ignored his communications and requests to see his daughter. Savage unlawfully dictated limited parent time between Plaintiff and EJT until mid-September of 2016, when she unlawfully and completely deprived Plaintiff access to EJT. Why are you so mad at me this morning? Specifically, September 17th, 2016, Savage illegally and completely restricted Plaintiff's access to EJT. Over the next week, Plaintiff texted Savage multiple times asking to see EJT, repeatedly informing her that her behavior violated his and EJT's legal rights. Savage nonetheless continued to completely restrict Plaintiff's access to EJT. As a result of Savage's unlawful behavior, Plaintiff was unable to be with EJT for weeks, necessitating Plaintiff to seek emergency legal relief to regain access to his daughter. That is just something that, like, I think your opinion of Savage is a bit light. Yeah, and it's just, I try to, one, be somewhat respectful on these streams, even though I don't like somebody. I'm never, like, straight up disrespectful. I have implications of disrespect, but, like, until I see both sides of the topic and the plaintiff or the defendant's response, I try to go, this is just what people want me to hear. We are going to find a stopping place. She did it again. I will be right back. Angel, stop slamming doors if you want to be able to get in them. We have to work on that ability to open a door. That is our next skill to work on. And that's our next skill to work on, is the cognitive and fine motor to open a door. She's never outright trashed a person on stream except Bubbles. Yeah, and I only gave my true opinion on Bubbles when he emailed me, which was like months after somebody else contacted him. Just a thought. So it's yeah. And let's make this shit real clear right now. I did not contact Bubbles first. He was in my chat. I would communicate him with in chat, but then he emailed me. Let's make that one real freaking clear. I was not communicating in DMs or anything until he emailed me. At one point during this time, around September 17th, 2016, Savage texted plaintiff the following: in yet another implementation of Hildebrandt's methodology necessitating the infliction of pain. Michael, I can imagine how hard this is. It must be very frustrating and painful. That is true. That's I can't really argue with that, but I just try to be like, if I see the other side and their reactions sound ridiculous to me or contrived or cultish, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. But yes, knowing what we know about Jodi, but since I don't know much about Savage other than what I've seen here, but he sounds like he has receipts, which is amazing. In October of 2016, after Savage unlawfully prohibited plaintiff's access to EJT, plaintiff filed for divorce in an emergency injunction to protect his parental rights. Wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. When Savage learned that plaintiff was preparing for divorce, she again weaponized Hildebrandt's methodology and manipulation tactics. This one is true too. He had initially been blocked and then he was unblocked. And then he finally was blocked again, but you know. But Squid Babu doesn't know how to shut his mouth or stop communications with someone who told him to stop. Yep. And well, Rogue Mama, none of that is on you, and we'll talk later. But don't you close that door and expect me to open it up again. She's dancing while she's closing it, looking at me, going, I'm closing it. And then she'll cry. So once we get to a stopping point, I'm going to call this a stream. Specifically, Savage pled with him multiple times, saying she would do anything to save the marriage. It's only because he filed for divorce against her and not she filing for divorce against him. To me, in my opinion, that's the only reason that she pled with him to save the marriage, is so that she could have the control of being the one who filed for divorce. Wanting the best life for his daughter, plaintiff took Savage at her word. Plaintiff informed her that he was willing to reconcile if, among other things, the couple looked into their church leadership for guidance instead of Hildebrandt and the enterprise. Savage agreed. The next morning, Savage, after meeting with Hildebrandt and at Hildebrandt's instruction, rescinded her agreement. Savage claimed she would not meet plaintiff's reasonable request about eliminating the enterprise's influence on their lives, including discontinuing financial payments to ConneXions for the financial benefit of the enterprise, because her girls needed her, meaning she could not abandon her fellow female enterprise members. Through Savage's walk back of their agreement, Savage demonstrated unwavering commitment and loyalty to Hildebrandt, the enterprise, and its fraudulent scheme. Around this time, Savage had also coerced plaintiff to meet with a social worker, Ted Guerin, under threat of divorce. Savage confirmed under oath that she threatened plaintiff with divorce if he had not attended counseling with Guerin. At Savage's instance, on September 22nd, 2016, plaintiff met with Guerin. Shortly thereafter, on or around September 28th, 2016, Savage threatened plaintiff that if plaintiff did not consent to the disclosure of his records from his meeting with Guerin to Savage, she would not permit plaintiff to see AJT. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Upon information and belief, Hildebrandt instructed Savage to utilize this manipulation tactic to keep plaintiff attached to the enterprise through Savage and EJT. Plaintiff did not consent to the disclosure of his records from his meeting with Guerin. Notwithstanding the lack of consent, Guerin knowingly violated plaintiff's HIPAA rights after this meeting, calling Savage and reporting false information to her despite plaintiff informing Guerin repeatedly that he was not authorized to discuss plaintiff's confidential information with anyone. Jesus. Guerin provided all of plaintiff's records to Savage despite plaintiff telling him he was not authorized to do so. Guerin also falsified plaintiff's records to make it appear that plaintiff had given consent to this disclosure. Savage later released these confidential records in her divorce proceedings with plaintiff, even after plaintiff informed Savage multiple times that she had obtained the records unlawfully. As described above in relation to Steed and Bateman, encouraging enterprise members to unlawfully disclose private counseling information and misrepresenting the information to defame enterprise victims is a tactic employed by the enterprise to keep control of its members and victims. Savage further underscored her commitment to Hildebrandt and the enterprise in a message to plaintiff after he filed for divorce on October 16th of 2016. And I think that is where we are going to call it a day. She is trying to beat down the door yet again because we have not discovered that when we close it, we can't open it yet. So she closes it as a joke and then can't open it back up. As you can hear her trying to beat down my door. I am going to get going. We will see. Yeah, it's funny, Tammy. It's funny, but it's this every day. This is an ongoing thing since we moved here because our last doors, it was an old house and them being warped didn't quite close all the way unless you really pushed on them. These ones are brand new, 2 years old, so they close nice and easily. The downside is she does not know how to open doors yet. We are not at that fine motor control. So I had to, what I need to do is teach my daughter not to slam doors. Like door stops aside, we need to work on not slamming doors. And that's going to be the thing. So we left off at page 50. We finished page 50. We will start on page 51 on the next time. And I am going to plan this stream better and communicate better and see if I can get Rosalind back on here to read this with me. And maybe Rogue Mama as well, if she's not working. Because they have done much more research into ConneXions than I have. So they are my subject matter experts in this topic. I just read and make opinions based on what I read, and people somehow find that entertaining. But I will see you guys on the next one. Tomorrow or tonight I have to work, so there will be no stream this afternoon or tonight. However, tomorrow we will be doing what will we be doing? Night court tomorrow night. So since she's been going to bed with her dad around 7:30, we will be going live around then, 7:30, and watching the Zachary Young versus CNN, watching CNN get their butts handed to them in court. I am going to see who I can redirect you to. Oh, no live or upcoming content from your subscriptions. Weird. Let me try that again. I've heard that they do this sometimes. Usually I get a whole bunch of people that come up. But yeah, unfortunately I can't find anybody that nothing is coming up right now from any of my subscriptions. So we will see how they're nope, just here to pull your leg and poke fun. I believe so. I have to go and check because be it the fact that the little one has access to my YouTube on her iPad, so I can monitor everything she does. She unsubscribes and subscribes to people all the time. So we will see. Tammy did an awesome first stream. I will have to go and watch it and make sure I'm subscribed. I will see you guys on the next one. And sorry, I can't redirect you to anybody because nobody is coming up. None whatsoever. So, yep, no live or upcoming content from your subscriptions. So I don't know what's happening with YouTube, but I've heard that happens from time to time. Anyway, I have to go make sure my daughter is not trying to break down any doors or slam doors on her hands. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.